Cyber love. Useful tips to find your life partner on the internet. Chapter 1. The benefits of finding your date online. Synopsis. The following are some of the benefits of finding a date through the online platform. The basics. Touted to be a safer way of finding a date, this is becoming a very popular platform sought after both by the male and female customer base. The protection and privacy element it promises, until both parties are ready to actually make contact, is an attractive feature for those who are looking for a hassle-free venture. The cost tag to this style of introductions is also comparatively cheaper than actually having to meet a person on an actual date before deciding their suitability. Most of these online dating services only charge between $20–$50 for the membership fee, for which the member is then privy to profiles and photos of everyone listed. The feature of being able to make contact based on the individual's one schedule is another attractive feature, as there are no time restrictions because these sites are usually permanently open. It also eliminates the need to put up with chance meetings, and being able to match with people on the similar schedule based can be a good start. Getting to know the other party without actually getting too serious or getting in too deep before any real decisions are made. For physical contact is a feature that most members find beneficial. This way there are no unexpected problems arising from expectations from both parties, to complicate the connections made. Avoiding further contact with encountering individuals who seem too clingy can be done with this type of connection. Chapter 2. How online dating site works. Synopsis. There are a lot of complications and stages that are required in the game of dating today. Perhaps the most exhausting and time-consuming phase of dating lies in the initial stages, where the meeting and elimination game is played. With the introduction of the online dating sites, some of these stages can be effectively handled and shortened to a certain extent, thus making the whole process easier, less stressful, and certainly less time and energy consuming. The following are some points as to how the online dating sites actually work. How it works. Once a site is chosen, the first step the individual would have to do would be to design and send in a profile of themselves. This profile should ideally include important information such as photos, age, occupation, hobbies, expectations, and any other information the individual is willing to divulge that would enhance the chance of attracting interest from others. The profile should also include a light and short, and maybe even humorous essay-style content of topics that interest the individual. The next step would be to view other profiles and decide on the one that interests the individual. When these have been identified, then the individual would have to make the initial contact, by sending a short and hopefully interested and engaging message that will encourage the other party to respond positively. Sometimes the site operators will match suitable candidates accordingly and notify the participants so that some contact can be made where there is interest. After the corresponding stage, the interested parties can take it a step further and actually plan a physical contact in the form of a date. This is usually done when both parties are comfortable enough to feel safe. Thus the willingness to facilitate physical contact. Chapter 3. Finding the best dating sites. Synopsis. Because of the increasing popularity of this sort of service, there are so many different sites available on the internet, and this can be rather overwhelming and confusing. Being already pressed for time and perhaps even being too exhausted to going through the more conventional dating motion, the individual may decide to seek the services of a reputable dating site. The following are some points that will help the individual to discern and pick the best sites instead of having to waste precious time and energy surfing sites randomly. The best sites. Finding a site that provides membership on a monthly basis usually be better than the one-off payment sites. This is because these membership monthly charging sites are well designed and are more professionally run. Such sites will be very careful in vetting the members and their accompanying profile. The sites are also kept updated always and sometimes even help in prompting connections that may be otherwise overlooked by the member. A site that caters to the more serious individual, who is actually interested in finding a suitable partner, is better than sites that are just there for people to meet each other. The sites for the more serious intention members will have the added benefit of the site organizers actually matching suitable profiles with the hopeful intention of helping its member find partners quickly, effectively and efficiently. If the individual have very specific requirements such as to do with religion or special interest and food categories, then using sites that cater for such niche groups is better than simply signing up randomly at just any dating site. There are several different dating sites and cater specifically to niche markets, and it would be time and energy efficient to enroll in such sites. Sites that have proven track records and provide statistical documentation to back these claims is also a good choice to enroll into. Chapter 4. Easy steps to choose the right dating sites. Synopsis. Selecting a suitable dating site can be quite challenging, simple due to the fact that there are so many sites available on the internet. There are almost daily addictions, and for the time constraints individual, surfing through every site is simply not a viable option. The following are some easy steps to follow when choosing a suitable dating site. Some tips. Deciding on the sites that would best suit the style and intention of the individual is the first decision to make. There are some sites set up for the purpose of simple introducing and meeting other people with similar intentions. These intentions may include just widening their existing friendship circles, making friends with like-minded interests, meeting new and interesting people, and other non-serious committing liaisons. Then there are sites that are set up to specifically match people who are interested in finding partner to embark on serious relationships with the eventual of marriage in mind. The next step would be to identify only active sites where the members are constantly or at least frequently visiting the site, and even where there is a good amount of new members, there should be clear indications of when members check the mail, or even when they are online. This would effectively show the activity level the site is creating, thus giving the potential member an idea of its relevance. The time frame aspect of the intended membership would also be something to be considered. Being prepared to sign up for a period of more than 6 months would be ideal. The financial commitment should also be considered. If the time frame for the intended membership is going to be for at least 6 months, it should work out to be a cost-effective commitment, when measured by the possible encounters promised. Chapter 5. Save time with online dating reviews. Synopsis. Using online dating services today can be quite a chore in itself, due to the fact that there is an overwhelming amount of such services being offered on the internet at any given time. Therefore, having the necessary information to help narrow down the search for the ideal site to use would be very helpful to the individual. The following are some tips of how to identify online dating sites. Through the reviews provided. Review sites. As the review are basically designed to help the prospective client save precious time and money. The usual elements to include would be getting the best deal and money's worth out of the sign up. The reviews here will provide the individual with the information about the detailed different levels of commitment in the membership fees, and if the said fee is worth the services being provided. The services provided would effectively have to justify the cost demanded by the online dating service, and the review would be able to shed light on this very important matter. Another informative feature the reviews are able to provide is on the number of members available at the various sites and the amount of activity at the site. Having a lot of member but no real activity will not help the prospective client and may even be a waste of time, money, and effort. Therefore, the reviews would ideally be able to provide information on these. Review provided on certain specific features such as the demographics of a particular site would also be useful information to a prospective client. This would help the individual who is only interested in a niche area, thus relieving the individual from signing up at sites that would not be of any use to him or her. Chapter 6. Free membership dating sites. Synopsis. There is a lot of free membership dating sites on the internet today, and understating what they are really all about will help the prospective client decide if this style of sites is suitable for their intended use. Free dating sites are usually filled with members who are not really extremely serious about finding and making the one commitment to a lasting partnership. Most of the members sign up at these sites just to try their luck, while others sign up to make new friends and form interesting liaisons, but the expectations are usually nominal, and this makes the site very wide-based and lack any form of discrimination. Free sites. Free membership sites usually don't have very stringent policies in place, and thus the protection feature is not really a prominently expected or required aspect of the sign-up exercise. In this case, the member will not be assured that the information provided is honest and trustworthy. There is very little tracking done to ensure all members have legitimate intentions for possible connections with others. Most free dating sites are rife with pop-up advertisement and emails. This can be a very annoying interruption for the time and internet access restricted individual. Being bothered by such interruptions that don't really have any connection to the dating service is not only annoying, but is also time consuming to have to keep clicking them. Close. A lot of scammers feature their wares on this type of sites, and sometimes this eventually affects the credibility of the sites. Some free sites only accept members from certain parts of the world, or from certain social standings. However, there is very little verification exercises that are conducted to ensure those who sign up as members are actually following the requirements completely. Therefore, although the site has certain rules and stipulations, there is no guarantee that all the members conform to these prerequisites. Chapter 7. Paid membership dating sites. Synopsis. It is a common preconception that when something costs money, it is usually better in quality and value when compared to something that is given away for free. The same can be said for the online dating sites as a whole, although there are some free sites that are quite good, but these are few and far between. The following are some points that will show the benefits of choosing a paid membership site for dating services. Paid sites. The quality of the people who would consider signing up at paid Membership sites is usually comparatively higher than other style sites. People who are willing to pay for services are typically more serious about the exercise of making genuine connection with others, and are also from a better demographics platform. The element of trust is arguably higher for those who sign up at paid membership sites. The general view is that people who pay for something are perhaps more likely to be committed, thus availing themselves to actually making connections as much as possible. These members would take the time to design proper profiles, answer questions, and fill out forms and any other exercises that would be required at such dating sites. In almost all such paid dating sites, the support and customer services given are of a better quality. The personnel at these sites are usually very committed to providing the services touted in their advertising campaigns. This is mainly due to the fact that such sites depend on the recommendations of satisfied existing members to broaden the revenue base by introducing the site to others. Most paid membership dating sites will be consistent in matching the members as frequently as possible. This matching will usually be done with the utmost care, as the members depend very much on the discretion of the service provider. Chapter 8. How to write an attractive profile. Synopsis. Being part of an online dating database can be a very competitive platform to be part of. Therefore, the individual would need to be able to present a very comprehensive and attention-grabbing profile that would ensure the interest of other parties enrolled. The following are some tips on how to prepare the ideal attention-grabbing profile and will ensure huge amounts of interest. Your profile. Choosing a suitable username would be the first step that is required of a new member. However, some care should be taken when choosing this username, as silly and overly descriptive names are usually not encouraged or well received. Such choices would not help to convey the member's seriousness or commitment levels in the venture at all. Personal information should not be easily divulged, as there should be some level of privacy to ensure the member is adequately protected from unnecessary solicitation outside the safety of the online site. Giving out too much personal information will only create a level of vulnerability that could endanger the member. Including photos that are complimenting yet honest is another feature that is important to be included in a profile. Sad as it may seem, people are interested in knowing of the physical appearance of those they intend to communicate with before they decide to take the connection to the next level. Therefore, if the member decides not to include any photos, the chances of getting any interested hits would definitely be few and far between. Promoting one's self online is also another feature that the member should be savvy in doing. This self-promotion is what is going to get the individual noticed over the many others available at the site. This will also help to ensure the member stays competitive and relevant. Chapter 9. Finding partner with the same religion. Synopsis. Of late there are quite a few online dating services that cater to niche groups. This is getting to be a rather popular requirement, especially when it comes to the topic or religious platform. Many people today find it better and certainly less cumbersome in the long run to be matched to potential partners that share the same religion. Therefore, making the effort to sign up at dating sites which specifically cater to the religious requirements of the member would be a better choice to make. The spiritual side. Most people looking to make a connection on the dating site for eventually finding a life partner with the same religion would require for the site to have such a vetting platform in place. A religious-based dating site would almost always encourage only members from that particular niche to sign on. Very rarely would they welcome someone who is not of the particular religious requirement or background, unless the said individual is completely open to eventually following the religious beliefs and practices of the party they choose to start a relationship with. The spiritual and moral values of those who are serious about their faith is often an uncompromising element that is insisted upon and diligently practiced. Thus it would be a complete waste of time to invest in the other party if there is no religious compatibility. Here the online dating service would play a very important role in ensuring only those suitable candidates are introduced to the members. This convenience helps all parties concerned to stay focused on other matter and eliminate the possible heartaches that could surface if there is no religious compatibility. Because there are certain requirements that are practiced within the spectrum of the religion, being a member of a dating site that is designed to accommodate only these requirements would be a relief and welcomed service to the individual seeking such provisions. Wrapping up. As in everything, there are always some bad individuals who come off as rotten apples and spoil everything for the rest of the generally honest and committed set of individuals. The same is true for the online dating scammers who rarely have good intentions in mind and are usually only looking to scam those they can. The following are some areas to look into and be wary of when it comes to trying to avoid scammers for online dating. It would be normal to assume some level of common sense to be exercised and extended when initiating contact with other members through the online dating platform. However, in a lot of cases where scams have been reported, the common factor that seems to facilitate the scam is usually the lack of common sense. There is nothing wrong in being wary and exercising caution when it comes to giving out personal information to virtual strangers when the connections are made at the dating sites. Making sure not to be sucked in by seemingly honest individual is something that should be strictly adhered to, as these scammers can be very convincing in their seemingly genuine presentations. These scammers are almost always easily identifiable for those who are focused on being careful and wary of being duped. Most scammer will appear to be very interested and anxious to set up a physical meeting. They would be constantly trying to get the other party to commit to setting up a proper date. Besides this, most scammers are very well schooled in the art of getting personal information from their targets. Therefore, under no circumstances should the individual give out any information that can be eventually linked to them, especially if the eventual online connection does not work out as first desired.